So welcome back to another Spot On chat. I'm Rebecca Monet with Zorakle Profiles. We provide profiling tools to franchisors and franchise brokers that help facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchise system. And I have back with me today Stan Friedman. Now, I don't know anyone other than Stan that's more knowledgeable or more passionate about franchising. Many of you know Stan as the president of FRM Solutions. What you may not know is that Stan serves on the IFA Educational Foundation's Leadership Council and the IFA Supplier Board. Stan is a founding member of the IFA Diversity Institute, and he co-created the Professional Athlete Franchise Initiative with NFL veteran Michael Stone. Stan is a board member of the Southeast Franchise Forum in Atlanta and an advisory board member with the Titus Center for Franchising. And with all that, he still finds time to produce and host the Franchise Today, a weekly podcast that is completely dedicated to franchising, where he interviews leading franchise executives and also serves the audience primarily of franchisors, franchise professionals that want to learn about franchising and take their businesses to the next level. So Stan, here we are. I have a wild card question for you.
Okay, I like wild cards, I think.
So life, whether we're looking back, we're looking forward, we're looking at where we are today. Oftentimes we have what ifs or if onlys. If only I had done that decision versus that decision, or if that, fork in the road, I had done something a little bit differently. Do you have a what if or if only that you could share with us, especially one that would help us learn something?
I've got probably a suitcase full of what ifs or if onlys, but I think that thinking back on that, since you kind of teed that question up to me to give thought to, I think the defining moment, and in fact, we almost teed up on this a little bit in one of our earlier discussions when you talked about PhD. I'm somebody who actually professes to have a PhD, but I'm also somebody who never went to college. So there's a dichotomy in that, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
So I call my PhD because it's an acronym for people handling degree. So it's my ability to manage relationships and work with people, which is the business that I'm in. And that's what franchising is all about for me. I'm not the concept guy. I'm not the creator I'm the relationship guy. So it's always about managing relationships, working with people. So I kind of tease about my PhD. But the thing that is my what if or if only moment is that I never did get to go to college. At 20 years of age, I made a decision. And it was a decision that my parents were not at all happy with, but it was a decision that I was confronted with. I'd worked for a company that summer, and that company was a textile company. I was growing up in New York. Those were my growing up years still in New York. And I was given an opportunity to spend the summer in Dallas and go work with their branch manager. This was an upholstery fabric and mattress fabric company, manufacturing company. And literally the branch manager in Dallas had a heart attack, and he needed somebody to do his driving and to carry the heavy bags. And we'd call on mattress factories, and we'd call on upholstery buyers and furniture mills and companies. And literally, I was the gopher for the summer. But I got to travel. I got to make some much better money than I'd have made flipping burgers or doing some part-time job at home. And at the end of the summer, Max offered me an opportunity. He had nobody to pass the baton to in Dallas, and he and I got along so well that he asked me if I would consider moving to Dallas, coming to work for him full-time, and that he would enable me to continue my college education out of Dallas, but I'd be traveling. So I didn't quite, that's where my parents and I had a bit of a disconnect. You can't be going on these 4-day road trips and going to school. And so it was one of those moments in time where the shiny thing won the day. I was offered a job at in 1971 money was a whole lot of money, and I took it. And I passed college, and I didn't go. And I've mentored and worked with kids in DECA and in organizations that support youth entrepreneurship like Next Gen. And when I'm asked to talk to kids about those things that they should be putting at the center of their plate when they're thinking about their future, I always share that I got lucky. But don't leave it to luck. You know, you're high school kids now getting ready for the next stages of your life. Do the college thing and take your dream with you to college, and better prepare yourself for what it is you're going to do with that dream than leaving it to luck. Yeah. All right. That's my what if. I don't know what would have happened had I completed my education. I would have passed on my years in radio and the tons of fun I had there. I'd have passed maybe on franchising, or maybe better prepared for either or something else. I don't know. But the question is, what was the road not taken? And
yeah, we don't know. We don't know how that would have played out. Now, I find it interesting, your story. I don't know if you know my story. I dropped out of college. I was married and had a baby and got pregnant with my second child. And I had a miscarriage. And it was a very difficult time in my life. And ultimately, I dropped out of college and never went back. So I can relate. I thought I was going to be a psychologist, right? And I was going to get a PhD. That didn't happen. So I can relate to your story, but I also find it interesting that even in your early time with this gentleman in the textile business, you knew either by default or somehow that you were the builder. You were the build the team and take an idea to the next level. You weren't the idea person, the concept originator. Right. You were the guy that put the ducks in the row, the people, the resources, the systems, the processes. That's where your talent and your gift is. And even at age 20, he saw that in you, that you could take this to the next level. He had the idea, he had a marketplace, and then you could take it to the next level. So that was pretty interesting how early it showed up in your life, what your talent really was.
Well, again, the road not taken, I'll never know what would have been had I followed that yellow brick road. But ups, downs, and even sideways for the past many years that have presented opportunities for me in first years in the broadcast world and then here in franchising. I can't think of too many moments in time that I'd rather have done something different than that which I'm currently doing. So here we are, and it is what it is.
It is what
Let's
it is.
Let's get through the virus and get our doors back open for business.
Let's go. Let's go. Now, I know you do a lot of mentoring, coaching, consulting with franchisors. Can you tell me a little bit about the kinds of franchisors that would benefit from spending time with you?
Emerging franchisors, for sure. I mean, my business, my software is FRM Solutions, is geared toward legacy brands. It's geared toward more established brands and the needs that large brands have in managing relationships with both prospective and existing franchisees. Me personally, I love molding clay. And I love working with the emerging franchisors. And as we've discussed in prior conversations, I'm the guy who pays back by paying it forward. I like working with, and I choose to work with a small group of franchisors at any given time and take on some projects or ideas for thought leadership and thinking about the what ifs and what could be with them if they were to take a different, perhaps, path than the one that they're currently considering, or even just fine tuning the path that they're on. You know, a Bose sound system, Bose headset, just a little turn sometimes can make a world of difference between static or symphonic, beautiful music. So sometimes they're already well along the way with a great idea. They just need some tweaks. And it's kind of like having an extra person on your board that actually knows franchising, instead of you being the guy who's just coming up with the concept, the idea, and you're trying to now become a franchisor and learn how to scale your business at the same time as operating it. So those are the kinds of people I enjoy helping. I have a separate URL I can give for that too, for anyone who's
I would like that. Yes, please.
interested in learning more about what I am about, and that would just be simply sensiblefranchising.com.
sensiblefranchising.com. So again, it's you work well with emerging franchisors where they have the concept. They now need someone that has the build it mentality, the operational mentality, and the building is both the team as well as a way to replicate and go to that next level. And I think there's an important point in that when the concept originator can focus on what he or she is good at, which is the ideas, right? They're the innovators, they're the creative ones. And we call it stages of growth in my business. When that concept originator can focus on continual innovation and creativity, they have to have a team and systems and processes in place to facilitate and execute. But most innovators and creators and concept originators don't have both of those abilities. So it's so important to bring an advisor on like yourself that can show them the ropes and build the bridge both forward and back.
So in your world, for those who know you and know SpotOn, I would suggest that the people I can make the greatest impact for would be late stage 1, all stage 2, and all the way through stage 3. I think those are the people that are in a place where they've kind of hit the gas already and they're going, but their navigation and their guidance would do a lot better with some GPS than it might just by instinct. And that's kind of where I like to come and try to help people.
Yeah. Yeah. You act both as a rear view mirror. This is what others have done and it worked and it didn't work. So you act as a rear view mirror, but you also have an eye for the future. Again, a rare talent to have both. So you're able to build around that innovator, around that concept originator that is in stage 1 or stage 2, or maybe even move into 3. The goal is to get the 3, right? That's where we want to go.
You bet.
All right. Well, this is so much fun. Thanks again, Stan. I look forward, maybe we can do this again in a few weeks or few months or whatever works out in your schedule. I know you're crazy busy, but I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Rebecca. I appreciate it. And listen, the next time, maybe we can do it face to face. What do you think?
Go away, coronavirus, so we can do that.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.